Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with number 2 in the series The Most Fantastic Chess Moves Ever Played. This one is from the match of the century, the USSR, the Soviet Union versus the rest of the world. The match was held in Belgrade in former Yugoslavia from March 29th till April 5th, 1970 and was billed as the match of the century, Soviet Union versus the rest of the world. 10 team members played 4 games against their opposite number. Max Euwe, the 5th world champion, was the captain of the rest of the world team and he announced the order of the team's players. For the first time, the ELO ratings from Mr. Arpad ELO system was used to determine seeding and board order, except in the case of Bent Larsen and Bobby Fischer. Larsen could not accept that Fischer's rating made him the world's board 1, when Fischer's recent period of inactivity was contrasted with Larsen's recent successes. After many negotiations, there were always negotiations when Fischer was involved, and just as the developing disagreement appeared to be endangering the match, Fischer surprisingly agreed to step down to board 2, playing Petrosian, and Larsen played board 1 against reigning world champion Boris Spassky. So on board 1, Bent Larsen from Denmark and Boris Spassky, reigning world champion from the Soviet Union, played 4 games against each other. The first game ended in a draw, and on the 31st of March 1970, Larsen was white and Spassky was black. Let's see what happened. B3, one of Larsen's pet moves. E5 from Spassky, bishop b2, knight c6, c4, knight f6, and here the main line goes as follows: e3, d5, c takes and knight takes, a3 to keep a knight from b4 so that the queen can go to c2, bishop d6, queen c2, black castles, knight f3, and white will be able to finish his development. The position is about equal. Instead of 4e3, Larsen played knight f3, provoking Spassky's reply. E4, knight d4, bishop c5, and now e3 is an option, but Larsen decides to take on c6. Spassky took back with the d-pawn to make sure he gets very fast development, opening up the bishop diagonal. e3, bishop f5, queen c2, queen e7 from the world champion, bishop e2, and Spassky castled queenside. f4 from Larsen. Of course you cannot take that pawn en passant because then your bishop on f5 is hanging with check. But Spassky played knight g4. g3 from Larsen to keep the queen out of h4. And h5. Very energetic play from black. And black is already pleasantly better, but here Larsen made a big mistake. He played h3, and this is too much for white's undeveloped position to bear. It weakens his kingside too much. h4 from Spassky, very strong move. And white is already in unsurmountable trouble. Larsen took the knight, h takes g4, and Spassky took on g3. Please note that 3 moves ago that pawn was still on h7 and now it is already on g3. Quite incredible. Larsen played rook g1 to try and take that pawn or block the pawn with rook g2. And here comes one of the most fantastic moves ever played. World champion Boris Spassky corked out rook h8 to h1. What an incredible move. Not only that, it is also a very strong move. Larsen really did not have any other choice but to take the rook. Rook takes h1. Now white is a rook and a piece up. But have a look at his queen side. All those pieces are crumbled in the corner, doing nothing. g2 from Spassky. And here you cannot play the automatic rook g1, because then there is queen h4 check, king d1, queen h1, another strong move. And if you go to c1 with the king, then there is queen takes g1 check, queen d1, queen takes, bishop takes, and black gets a new queen and his material up with a winning position. If instead of king c1 you play rook takes h1, then black gets a new queen and bishop f1, queen takes f1 is checkmate. So rook g1 doesn't work, so Larsen came up with rook f1. Spassky played queen h4 check, king d1 from Larsen, and after g takes f1, queen check, Bent Larsen resigned. He resigned because if he takes that new queen, bishop takes f1, then there is bishop takes g4 check. And you cannot go with the bishop to e2 because of queen h1 checkmate. And if you go to c1 instead, then there is also checkmate, queen e1 check, queen d1, and queen takes d1 checkmate. A crushing victory from Boris Spassky on board 1 in the Soviet Union versus the rest of the world match. Spassky was an amazing attacking player. Often when we see Spassky's games is from his match against Bobby Fischer, and of course Fischer won that match, and sometimes we forget what an incredible player Spassky was in his own right. And this is a good example of it. Larsen hit back in the third game, and in the fourth game Spassky was replaced by another player, so the match Spassky-Larsen ended 1.5. Bobby Fischer beat Tigran Petrosian 3-1 on board 2, and overall the score was Soviet Union 20.5 versus rest of the world 19.5, so the Soviet Union won that match. Hope you enjoyed this video. Rook h1 from Spassky, fantastic move, one of the most amazing moves ever played. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and I'm looking forward to your comments. You also may want to check out my Chess to Progress channel. One of the things I do there is analyze games that viewers send me by email. This is Rick from Chess to Impress. Thank you very much for watching.